The working conditions are so bad in the United States, I don't understand why US workers don't just unionize. In Germany, unions are like everywhere, and they make sure that the working conditions are more fair. So how much do you understand about US labor laws? Honestly, not much. Sure, so you're talking about when a group of workers join together so that they have more power in negotiations, like when asking for more paid time off or better pay in general, or maybe better working hours. Yeah, of course, just making sure. So a lot of people in the United States are afraid of trying to form a union because of the potential repercussions. Or they think that they don't need a union. They think that they can just go to their boss alone if they have a problem with their pay or the working conditions. But what happens when your boss doesn't want to listen? Do you have any union laws to protect workers? We have laws to help protect employee rights to form and make a union, and we also have laws that prohibit employers from interfering. But enforcement is weak, and the penalties for the companies for breaking these laws are relatively small. So it doesn't work as well as you might hope or think. And most jobs here are called at-will employment. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it means that your boss can fire you for almost any reason or no reason at all, as long as it doesn't violate anti-discrimination laws. Wow, in Germany you can't be fired without a really good reason. And unions help to make sure that the rules are followed. I mean, I understand people are scared. The conditions are also really tough. I still think I would unionize. Like I said, many companies are actively trying to discourage unionization, even though they might not be supposed to. They say unions will cost too much money, or that they'll make the company go out of business even. They say that unions are greedy and that they take too much money from the workers' paychecks, or that the union won't even represent the workers' interests because it's too big of an organization or it's too complex, and the worker will end up with lesser conditions anyway. Sometimes they even have meetings where they tell the workers bad things about unions just to make them afraid of joining. Some new legal rulings are helping, sure, but there's still a long way to go. That's so different. In Germany, the government actually supports unions. They make sure that workers can join unions without being punished. And unions help set the rules for things like pay and vacation. We also have works councils. I don't know if you have anything like that in the United States, but legally they're integrated into the employment and corporate structure. Yeah, we don't have that here, unfortunately, so the workers really have to fight for it. And even then, companies hire lawyers that slow everything down, or they hire anti-union consultants. So the lack of labor protection laws in the US make it harder to form a union, which leads to a lack of universal labor protection. You said it. But a lot of people don't know much about unions. Schools don't teach you a lot about them, and some people think that they're only for factory workers. That's not true though. Unions represent a ton of different industries and jobs here, and they help get things like paid vacation, the 4 weeks that we have now, and limits on how many hours we can work in a week at a national level. Do workers in the US get those things? No, there's no federal requirement for paid vacation, sick leave, or parental leave. But I mean, in some states, they have their own rules, or companies will offer something as a benefit. There's not even a federal limit on the number of hours that an adult can work in a week or in a day, as long as they get paid overtime, if they qualify. And the salaried employees, that sounds stressful. I don't think I could live that way. I still think I would try and form a union. Well, you have to remember that a lot of people in the US believe in this concept of rugged individualism. The idea that everything is your own personal responsibility and that you have the freedom to make your own decisions even without unions. People don't always realize how much unions could help them. It sounds like it would take a lot of work to change people's minds, but I think it's worth it. Hey, a lot of people in the US agree with you, and we've been making some progress. More workers have been filling out petitions to form unions recently. We've seen big movements, such as in Starbucks and Amazon, where workers have been pushing really hard for this. And if employees actually get to the point of voting on a union, they're voting yes almost 80% of the time. That's great. Does that mean that more people are joining unions? Not exactly. The overall union membership rate is still low. It's actually been going down for decades, and now it's around 10%. But, the things like new government rules are helping, and there's some momentum building.